Are you thinking of visiting London? If it's your first time, then planning your trip can get pretty overwhelming. There is just so much to see and do, so make sure you don't stress out. London is huge and it is impossible to see everything no matter how long you stay. Whether you are going to London for a day, a weekend or a whole week, make sure you watch this video where we give you tips and ideas on how to spend your time in this magnificent city. We visited London countless times. We even worked and lived there in our 20s and 30s, and after being away for 10 years, we returned for a 5-day visit during the Easter weekend. Which brings us straight to our first tip. Avoid visiting London on public holidays. We can give you 2 big reasons why. First of all, it will be extremely busy. We never experienced such a crowd in London before. There were queues everywhere and the amount of people at the major highlights was shocking. If you are in London for just a couple of days during the holiday season, then expect to lose time because of the long queues. Also, everything is more expensive. London has always been known to be an expensive city to visit, but during public holidays, accommodation can be double the price and theatre tickets even 4 times. But that said, we had a great time, and despite going at the wrong time of year, we still love being in London. To fully enjoy this buzzing city, we suggest the following. Wearing the most comfortable shoes you have, because the best way to experience London is on foot. Many things are close by and are just 20 minutes or less from each other. Only by walking will you see the hidden mews, impressive houses and beautiful parks. According to our iPhone, we walked a minimum of 13 kilometers a day. Besides walking, we highly suggest getting around by bus. While the London Ground is a fast and convenient way to get to places, you won't see a thing. But if you hop on any bus, it will take you through the streets of London, giving you the best impression of the city. That said, when coming from the airport, or if you want to move quickly from one side of London to the other, then we recommend taking the Underground. It is an experience you shouldn't miss, especially when you realize it is the oldest in the world. The Metropolitan line was the first line built in 1863 and connected Paddington and Farringdon. And some stations have impressive tunnels taking you from one platform to another. On this trip, we mainly took the bus. We were staying in Hammersmith and bus number 9 became our favorite, especially when sitting at the front on the top deck. It took us through the areas of Kensington, along Hyde Park, past Green Park to Piccadilly, past Trafalgar Square, ending at Aldwych Theatre, which is just a short walk to Covent Garden. Another bus that runs along the major highlights is bus number 11 and 15. But every bus you take, you will see the different areas that make London so special. You can also consider the tourist hop-on, hop-off bus. There are all types of tourist buses taking you through London. We never took one because we prefer to hop on a bus wherever we want. A ticket with the tourist hop-on, hop-off bus is £45. Pretty expensive compared to the £1.75 bus ticket or £5.25 for a day ticket on the famous red public buses. Plus, children up to 11 years old are free to travel on London's public transportation, and children between 11 and 15 years old only pay 50%. We use an Oyster card for the buses and Underground since we already had one from our previous trips, but you can use your bank or credit card too, as long as it has the contactless pay symbol. Mobile payments such as Apple Pay and Google Pay are also possible. The next tip, which we were the most unprepared for, everything is almost cashless. So don't go to an ATM to get some British pounds. Instead, have your card ready at all times. We had a hard time getting rid of our cash. Since we are already talking about money, London is expensive, but there are ways to keep costs low. Look for accommodation just outside of the city centre. Just make sure there is an Underground or a good bus service nearby. Because public transportation is excellent in London, so you don't have to find a place to stay near the popular sites. Attractions are also crazy expensive. The London Eye is, for example, £33 for a regular ticket or £48 for a fast track. And the whole ride only lasts 30 minutes and you don't even have a private pod. If you think it is worth it, then definitely go. The view is fantastic. We went 15 years ago. But if you find this expensive too, don't worry, because the great thing about London is that the famous landmarks such as Big Ben, Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace are free to admire from the outside. And best of all, entrance to all museums are free too. The British Museum, the National History Museum, the National Gallery and many more are all free. And let's not forget the parks. They are beautiful and free to wander around. And if you're thinking about going on a walking tour, there are great guided tours that will take you through the city, providing valuable insights of London along the way. But a lot of walking routes are also offered for free online, and we will give you some suggestions ourselves later in this video. While the museums are free, just like the paid attractions, you need to book ahead. If you don't pre-book, then chances are you'll be standing in line for 1.5 hours. And free attractions such as the Sky Garden, where you have 360-degree view of London at 160-meter height, should be booked way in advance, especially during public holidays. Which brings us back to tip number 1. Avoid public holidays at all costs. As mentioned, we spent 5 days in London. We think it's difficult to give you a detailed itinerary of how to spend your time in this amazing city, since everybody has their own preferences. When we are in London, we always get nostalgic and head to the areas we used to live and work, such as Earl's Court, Kensington, Hammersmith and Twickenham. And we just love to explore the streets and parks and stroll along the major attractions. Eating at the best restaurants, shopping and spending a whole day at the museums are not the things we usually do, but we do know that many have this on top of their list. So here we're going to describe how we would spend one day in London for the first time. Plus we will give you itinerary ideas if you are in London longer than just one day. So let's start with what we suggest doing if you only have one day in London. First of all, start early. Then hop on a bus or tube to Green Park Station. Cross this royal park towards Buckingham Palace, the home of the British monarch since 1837, the center of royal events, and it attracts loads of tourists for the changing of the guards. From Buckingham Palace, past the Victoria Memorial, along the traffic-free road, the Mall, and enter another beautiful royal park, St. James Park. Stroll around, admire the views and head towards the large open square of the Horse Guards Parade. Venture through the archway where you will find the famous Horse Guards. Take a picture and continue along Parliament Street, or in our case, we walked back and took the quiet road along St. James Park again. Both roads will take you to Westminster, the place where you can find the iconic buildings of London. You have the Westminster Abbey, the coronation church since 1066, and the final resting place of 17 monarchs. The Palace of Westminster is just across the street. Here you will find the Big Ben and the House of Parliament. The original building dates back to 2016 and was the residence of the Kings of England, but was rebuilt in 1840 after it was destroyed by a fire. When ready, cross the Westminster Bridge and admire the Palace of Westminster from the other side, and continue walking downriver past the London Eye, enjoy some street performances, and cross the next bridge over the Thames called Golden Jubilee Bridge. You will have great views of the Big Ben and the London Eye from here. At the other side of the bridge, you can board the Uber boat towards London Tower. Make sure you have sufficient funds on your Oyster card. You can also use your Uber app to pay or buy a ticket before you board. Get off at Tower Hill. Here you will find the Tower of London, known for the public execution of high-status prisoners from the late 14th to the mid-18th century, and today you can admire the crown jewels here. Just walk around the Tower of London where you see the world-famous Tower Bridge. You can cross the bridge on foot, and once there, admire the 72-floor glass skyscraper, the Shard, or go up for the 360 views of London. From there, take a 15-minute walk to Borough Market, one of the largest and oldest food markets in London dating back to the 12th century. It's known for its diverse, fresh produce and quality street food. From Borough Market, head to bus stop M at London Bridge Borough High Street and board the number 133 bus where you get off at Bread Street near St. Paul's Cathedral. This stunning cathedral was rebuilt after the London fire in 1966 and is the place where many religious and cultural events took place, such as the wedding of Prince Charles and Princess Diana. At St. Paul's Cathedral, board bus number 26 that leads from the bus stop SJ. It's a short trip where you will get off at the stop Trafalgar Charing Cross. From here, head to Trafalgar Square, admire the National Gallery and the other grand buildings, take a picture with the huge lion statues and take in the view. From Trafalgar Square, walk towards Covent Garden. The Covent Garden is a special place in the busyness of the city. The cobbled piazza and arches of the market building attract a crowd for its beautiful setting, food and shopping possibilities. From Covent Garden, it's a nice stroll through the narrow streets to Leicester Square, known for its huge cinemas, last-minute theatre ticket sales, street performances and a lot of tourist shops. Just a street away, you can find Chinatown, where you can try authentic Chinese and other Asian dishes and sweets. Piccadilly Square is just ahead. This square is a huge city traffic hub where buses continue their journey to every corner of the city. It is mainly known for its huge neon light billboards and the fountain with the famous Eros. If you continue down towards the Ritz Hotel, you will find yourself at the Green Park Station again, the place where you started the day. By now you might be exhausted and hopefully satisfied and have experienced London as an exciting and diverse destination. If you're staying much longer than one day in London, then we highly suggest the following. Head to Richmond, located west of London city centre. You can easily reach this picturesque area by underground, train or bus. It is set along the River Thames, and when you are there you will feel like the busyness of London is miles away. This is a place where you have to walk to see the best it has to offer. This is a walk we highly recommend. Head to the riverbanks via the little streets and climb uphill at the Terrace Garden Park for wonderful views. Walk down again to Ham House and cross the river by ferry. If it isn't going, walk back to Richmond town and grab a bus to Twickenham. On the other side of the Thames, there is a lovely path along the river that leads you into Twickenham or back to Richmond. You can either head back to the city by bus or tube, or you can take the River Thames boat from Richmond all the way back to Westminster. Services don't run every day and only from April till October, so check their website to see if this is an option for you. Another great way to spend the morning or afternoon is to head to Earl's Court and walk through the beautiful Kensington area known for its marvelous houses, private gardens, little streets and muses, leading you to Kensington Gardens. Here you can hop on bus 9, which will bring you along Knightsbridge, Piccadilly Square and Trafalgar Square. From there you can walk to Covent Garden and Chinatown. Besides the famous London landmarks, you can't miss out on one of the many beautiful parks. We love walking through Hyde Park, starting at Kensington Palace, passing the Round Pond, walking towards the Royal Albert Hall, continuing to Princess Diana Memorial Fountain, relaxing at the Serpentine Lake, and ending at Hyde Park Corner. At Hyde Park Corner, you can also rent a bike that will make checking this park out a breeze. You can find these bikes everywhere in the city. We're not sure if we should recommend using this rental bike to get around London. Traffic is crazy and you should be familiar with how things work to drive safely. But if you cycle along the designated cycle lanes or pedestrian areas such as around Buckingham Palace area or Hyde Park, then it is a great way to move around. Another suggestion when visiting Hyde Park is to exit at the Royal Albert Hall or Knightsbridge and visit the Natural History Museum. That's what we did on this trip. We particularly loved the building of this impressive museum. But when we were there, it was extremely busy, so we were not able to fully enjoy it. But in the past, we always spent hours here admiring the little details. Instead of Hyde Park, you can head to Regent Park and combine your visit with the British Museum. At this historical museum, you can find art and artifacts from all cultures in the world. Most famous artifacts is the Rosetta Stone, which played an important part in deciphering hieroglyphs, the Parthenon sculptures, and the Egyptian mummies. As you can tell, you can fill up your days in London in all kinds of ways, and the things we mentioned are just a few suggestions. London is a huge, diverse and exciting city that offers something for any type of visitors. This is probably why we and many others keep on coming back. For now, we hope we have given you an idea of how to plan your trip to London. If you thought this video was helpful, please consider giving a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel to keep updated on future videos. We enjoy receiving questions and suggestions in the comment section below, so if you have any, don't hesitate to leave a comment behind. So we have come to the end of our video on London. Thank you for watching till the very end, and we hope to see you in our next video. Bye bye!